This is going to be super quick. We get asked a lot. You might be surprised how much we get asked of how do I add an alt text to an image in Craft CMS? And this is usually from a developer who's inherited a Craft site that's not familiar with Craft yet. So if that's you, I'm going to walk you through this. It's going to be super quick. I'm looking at an example site that I use for tinkering around on my local environment. And if I inspect this element here, this is an image, and I do not have an alt attribute on this image. So that needs to get fixed, right? So let's go into the dashboard. This is the home page. So we're just going to look at this real quick. Go into the home page and see where that image is getting rendered. And here's the image that was selected. And what's really cool about Craft is your developers, or not your developers, your content authors don't actually have to leave this context to change field values that are on this element. All they have to do is just double click it. Notice there's a caption field on there. That's not there by default with Craft. That was actually something that was implemented by a developer, in this case, me, the developer, but I added that caption field. So what I want to do now is also add an alt text field to that. So what I'll do is I'll go into settings, I'll go into assets, and you will probably have more than one asset volume defined here, but any of the ones that have images in them, what you'll need to do is go in here and look, and you'll see that they all have field layouts. Now, title and file name or default, those are just automatically there, but that caption field, this one was the field that we saw in there. So we're going to create an alt text field and put it on here as well. So we'll go into settings, create a new field, and I'll go new field. Okay, alt text. We need to remember this handle because this is how we'll refer to it in the templates. You can change this to whatever you want. Usually it's just easy to remember is the camel case version of the name of the field. So that's what it is, alt text. Actually, I'm going to copy that to my clipboard and we'll leave it plain text. If you are on a site that is multi-site or multi-locale, like different languages and stuff, then you might need to spend some time thinking about this field right here. Should it be translated for each site, for each language? That'll be up to you. Every Craft site is different. So I'm just going to leave this for simplicity as not translatable, and I'll save it. Now that we have our field, we can go attach it to our asset volume. So images, I'll go back to the field layout and I'll drag that field right up there, drop it. I won't make it required. You can make it required if you want to. I wouldn't do that. Let's see here. Okay, so going back now that field is on there, we can go back to the home page and your author can come in here and double click that and add some alt text. So I'm just going to say some text for now and save it. Now, at this point, we don't even have to really save this particular entry because the asset itself was saved, but because I'm OCD, I'm just going to go ahead and save that. And now when we refresh the page, nothing has changed. I wanted to show you that, is that Craft doesn't do anything to your templates. It doesn't know anything about the code in your templates. It only knows that you added a field that stores data in the database. So it's up to you to go into the templates now and implement that field. So let's go into the templates. And in this case, it was in a matrix block. You'll have to find out where all of your images were rendered. Sometimes image rendering is very, very fancy, and you'll have to figure out how to do it. But in this case, this is, like I said, I'm just tinkering around, so I'm keeping this as simple as possible. And I'll just add an alt text thing up here. So alt equals and then empty. Now, the way that we get that is from the asset. Let's see. In this case, in this template, is called image asset dot, and then the name of the field, which was alt text. And if it doesn't exist, then or there's no value to it, then it'll just render empty string. So there's no danger in just letting that roll. And in your case, you'll probably have some custom considerations. In this case, there were options about images. So I'm going to have to add this, make sure I add this to every possible scenario here and save that. Now, when I go back, let's go back to Opera and refresh the page. And now we have that alt text. And the beautiful thing about this is that those alt text can be managed from within the entry itself. However, if you change it on this image, it's going to change it everywhere this image appears. This is probably actually a good thing. Or your authors can go into the assets as well. Like if I think, was it this image right here? Yeah, it was. So you can actually edit those assets here as well. All right, I hope that's helpful, and thanks for watching.